And we are very fortunate to have His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu amongst us to glorify Maharaj. As all of you know, Prabhu is very close to Maharaj. He has been rendering service to Maharaj since New Vrindavan days. And most of you know, Prabhu doesn't need any introduction. He has beautifully cultivated a loving congregation in Farmington Hill. And with that, Prabhuji, with that very, very brief introduction, I know Prabhuji doesn't like his introduction, but somehow it took the audacity to introduce him in a very brief way. So Prabhuji, with that, I will just hand over the mic to you, Prabhuji, to please enlighten us on glories of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
Yes, I cannot enlighten anyone, but I can share Maharaj experiences. Only one thing is trying to be your servant, everyone's servant, probably this will make me go forward in my bhakti. That's the only hope. I also hope this will help devotees, help devotees go forward in their bhakti actually. That's it. Jnanaatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuron mritam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shriyatapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganarvita Shri Vishakanitam Shri Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrinda Avaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanja Kalpatarubhya Shikrapa Sindhabhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Sri Radhanath Swami Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirviseshanadi Paschadistarane Vamgaroti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Grim Yatkrapata Humande Shigrandanataran Paramananda Madhav Sri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. Devotees, I neither have any qualification nor do I have any realization. Millions and millions and millions of lifetimes and this material world going through so many species. Finally, we have attained that rare human form. And after attaining human form, somebody brought us to Krishna consciousness. And by the causeless mercy, we all have been connected to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Anandarandan Prabhu says, many people say many things about Maharaj, but for me, Maharaj means a Nitya Siddha devotee. Anandarandan Prabhu says that. Maharaj is a Mahabhagavata devotee. Having association 1/11th of a second, we make immense progress. Neophytes to jump to Madhyam and Uttama, we need pure devotees association. One time I told Maharaj, actually Guru Maharaj, we don't need, you don't need to even speak to us. Just by seeing you is enough. That is enough, Maharaj. Maharaj said, if I don't speak, how will people come to know what is there in my mind? I need to speak. I said, yes, Maharaj, that's what you may think like that, but your presence itself is enough and your darshan is enough, Maharaj. So Maharaj is such an exalted, Mahabhagavad devotee actually. Only to come to deliver people. Many times I thought of this, I texted him on his Vyasa Puja day, and he did respond. He's like a railway engine. This is what I was thinking about himself actually. So he's like a railway engine. What type of railway engine it is? An engine for a goods train. He takes all of our karma, and how many people? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. He takes, so Kali Yuga disciples, he takes our karma, and he connects us to the path of bhakti. We should have that understanding and gratitude. We should not take his association for granted. One time, he was, this new now, this came into my mind. This I didn't write actually. Those days he would give, every day he would meet devotees at 4 o'clock, 4 to 5. One time, sharp 4 he would come. He came. Probably, more or less 3 to 4 seconds later. And I just followed him into the room where he would come and give his audience. That day, except 2, 3 people, nobody was there. Maharaj was upset. And he spoke that day, and Vapu and Vani. And he said, so yes, Guru's Vani is very important, but we should not neglect Vapu. Vapu means presence, his body. So when Guru is there, he will he'll give his instructions. You take this, he did like this. You take that form, you take that instructions deep into your core of the heart. And when Guru is absent, you take that instructions out and you try to act on that. But when Guru himself is there, if you're negligent, then how can you take that deep into your heart? So this happened so many years ago. Still I remember, because I think that is the reason why he's able to go forward even after this many years. Anything related to Prabhupada, that would really, that would create interest in him actually. Except that nothing would create any interest in him actually. So, and recently actually, what is that? Again, this something else came into my mind. So recently actually in Brooklyn, you were seeing Prabhupada's all these items, the Amsura Prabhu was showing. And he asked Amsura Prabhu, did Pradyumna come here? Because he wanted Pradyumna Prabhu to come and see this also. Because, Pradyumna Prabhu probably could correlate with all the paraphernalia of Srila Prabhupada, his dictaphone, his glass, Prabhupada's tape recorder, everything. So Prabhupada, did Pradyumna come here? Wow. So I said one line, what causes interest in him is Prabhupada and things related to Prabhupada. Somebody comes and shares Prabhupada experiences with him, he would listen, totally forgetting. One time I arranged a retreat, just to, just to raise funds for Bhakti Center actually. So I arranged, and I was worried how many people will come. So very interestingly, sizable crowd showed up. And I told them, please come, please come. You will get the association of Maharaj, you'll get to hear from Maharaj. So it's a paid retreat, needless to say. So uh, in the morning, he spoke. In the evening, question answers. So the retreat ended exactly on time. We gave prasad. It's a paid retreat, but you all know, So people came. So after the it was a paid retreat. So naturally, people would expect, expect him to talk to them for 1 minute, 30 seconds before they would go back to their homes, right? They came from New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So as soon as the retreat ended, he got up and he left. So I told everyone, thank you very much for coming, all the way, crossing Lincoln Tunnel, Holland Tunnel, paying all this money. So let me see what he's doing. So when he went upstairs, to attend the nature's call. So Pradyumna Prabhu came. Pradyumna Prabhu started sharing actually. So what would create interest? And he sat with him and he was just listening. So when he asked Asura Prabhu, did Pradyumna Prabhu come here? That Sanskrit reader of Srila Prabhupada. Immediately I could connect to him. So these are amazing. I want, I'm finding so much joy. I want my God brother also experience the same joy by witnessing these things. All right. So anyway, today, what is that? I take this opportunity to focus on those things, qualities of Maharaj. And I want to focus on the qualities of Maharaj. By hearing those, I hope that you all feel nourished. We all feel nourished, and we try to inculcate the same things. No. So if you see, it's immense sense control. As a 19-year-old, a young boy, he went to India. When he would get food, he would eat. And he would sleep. He said one time, wherever I would go, I would look for a river and sleep on the bank of the river. Sleep on the bank of a river. In Vrindavan also, you would sleep, on the bank of Yamuna river actually. 1 year yatra, somebody showed us the place where Maharaj would sleep actually. Hare Krishna. So food and sleep, he had control. Hare Krishna. So one time, 1 year, he was sort of, I think he was going through some health issue. He would eat only once a day. Means you would eat 12 o'clock, between 12 to 2 you'd eat. Next day only 12 to 2. I told this to few devotees actually. So he went outside and he came back. He came back that day, probably 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, I was also hungry. And without, serving, I cannot eat. But finally came at 3 o'clock. So is it, he said, is prasad ready? Guru Maharaj, 3 minutes, Guru Maharaj. So then 3 minutes, I gave I served him. It's like probably 3:12. So he ate yesterday, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, So, he has this quality, sarira, vidyaja. So, so your body is longing for prasad, and he said that. He said that prasad, the prayers were over, and he did like this to eat. And one tiny child showed up. He was The door was open. The mistake I did not close the door. I did not close the door. He looked like he was looking like this. Maharaj looked at him and he pushed the plate like this. He pushed it. Said, come. I'm sure I don't know how many of you experience. When you're ready, your senses are ready to, but that's when denying food is not not easy. The senses, it's already more than 24 hours now. He said, come, and the boy came in. As soon as the boy went in, the parents came in and he started speaking. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But he had no problem. Wow. I mildly indicated to that Mataji, oh, he has not eaten. So this he has been doing for how many decades? He is celebrating his 72nd Vyasa Puja now. We want only 1 minute. Everyone wants only 1 minute from him. So we really do not care what will happen to him. One time in that time, no Bhakti Center was not there, 2nd Avenue, and I went from New Vrindavan to New York. So that time Radhanath Maharaj was there actually. He was sick. Maharaj was very sick. Very sick, and as usual program started. I'm saying, he was very sick, and he was talking, slowly he was becoming that, what is that? I can see the weakness in the face. Slowly it started dwindling, So 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9:30, he got up in the morning. And finally one lady said, so either question would go to either Radhanath Swami or, Guru Maharaj or somebody else. And, when he was answering, one lady said, they would pose all these critical questions. And he would answer. Finally, a lady said, Maharaj, it's already 9:30. You also have to eat. You have to take rest. Maharaj said, thank you. I said, wow, he said, you could understand. Then, 9:30, then it continued. Finally, it ended at 10 o'clock. But, he's known for his hospitality. And his godbrother came to talk to him. I heard that day, then we also left at 10 o'clock. Then he ate at 12, midnight. Correct. So how can I please Srila Prabhupada by serving my god brothers, god sisters, or devotees? Hare Krishna. So needed sleep also no problem. One time, the fortunate recipient for this is actually Venkatavata Prabhu. One day he started at evening 5 o'clock. 4 or 4, 5. 4, 5, 6, 7. Investment, this what is his name? Stephen Covey, he writes it. You invest. Maharaj is expert in this investing in people. So 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. I was watching and Maharaj didn't change. He was talking to Venkatavata Prabhu, his mother. I think his wife was there too. Then it continued. So I went and slept at 11. I didn't join. So then finally, without invitation, you should not go, right? So finally what happened, I went and took rest. in the night, Mangalarti. When I got up in the morning, I was rushing. It's 2 minutes to 5. Maharaj's room is next to Radhanath Chandra's room from the guests. Said he can directly enter. But that day I was going down, he was coming from the temple front. Why is he coming from the front? And then I came to know after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he spoke. And 5 o'clock, he told, we have to attend Mangalarti. Many times I saw in New York. I would sit with them, all these devotees, and to inspire them, we talk. It's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Wow. Amazing. Sense control, amazing. One day we were in Pittsburgh airport, I was serving breakfast. He said, serve me breakfast. No, he had to that time eat every 4 hours, something like that. So as he actually started eating that day, suddenly devotees came, they started coming, they saw him, they started immediately Maharaj, he left it. He said, yes, bro, what can I do for you? Amen. This, this type of things, they would make, that would please Krishna in the heart. That's how, you become very attractive. Right? So, it's really a good occasion. And he has that absolute sense control, actually, that desire to please Srila Prabhupada, he can go to any extent, but not for him. One time, he opened, devotees acquired one man, and anyway, that van was registered under his name. So he opened the dashboard and he saw, this was under his name. He said, no, I should have only 2 things on my name. One is my passport, second is driving license. Nothing should be on my name. The money came from Johnny home and Johnny within. I'm sure it must have gone to Chowpatty temple. So he said, only 2 things should be on my name. My name should be there, only 2 things: license and driving license and passport. Everything for Prabhupada. Anything he would utilize his time. He would utilize his time and effort and energy, intelligence, everything for the pleasure of Guru or Krishna. I'm inspired to tell this one past him. Muktesh Prabhu told me he passed away. And you're now. Those days they would go for, they were building palace, and they were building palace. Palace needed a lot of funds, needed millions. So they would go for book distribution and basically raise money to build palace. Maharaj also would go with them. But whenever Maharaj would find somebody, a serious candidate, he would sit with him for 1-2 hours, preaching, trying to preach to him, make Krishna, bring them to Krishna consciousness. And he wanted to make him Krishna conscious. Devotees didn't like it. Muktesh Prabhu said, I didn't like it. He doesn't do any, his numbers are, not as expected. Muktesh Prabhu, I'm thinking one of the leaders actually. So Maharaj would go with him. So Muktesh Prabhu said, so one day they got into the van and he said, if you sit with people hours and hours, not distributing, I'll beat you up. You all should know Muktesh Prabhu is tall and like a heavy bodybuilder, like hefty personality. So Maharaj didn't say anything. So as usually start distributing, and Again, that day he found one sincere, enthusiastic gentleman and sat with him preaching. Wow. In 1 hour you can distribute 20 books. Why you are sitting with only 1-2 persons for 2 hours? So second day also same thing happened. Finally, Muktakesh Prabhu lost his patience. Third day they got into the van. So they were driving to the they would drive to the destination to to start distributing. They got into the car to start distributing books. They got into the car, van. Muktakesh, I'm telling you really seriously. Past 2 days, if you waste time talking, or don't distribute books, I will really beat you up today. He did like this. This is the third day he did it. Past 2 days he's doing it. Maharaj didn't say anything. But that day Maharaj said, don't expect, don't, Muktakesh Prabhu said, don't underestimate me. You don't know by the power of my, my punch. I'm like a heavy personality. Maharaj opened the door. He said, I'm ready. Let us fight. Come. And Maharaj said that such humble way. And Maharaj opened the door. Just come, let us fight. Muktakesh Prabhu started shivering. Radhanath looks so skinny. That's what he's told me. But when he said that power, the words have so much power. He got down and, because, everybody is telling it. So he got down. I couldn't open my door. I became so scared. So, the point is, since then, I developed respect for him actually. I'm sorry, this came to mind, So, and he said, since then I never challenged him. And his words have that type of power. So I didn't even get up. I didn't open the door and get down. Then after some time, he came back and sat and we drove to the place. And then later we became, we patched up, he said, So anyway, he has that immense strength, which he got from impeccable sadhana. Sadhana and, purity. And seva. Actually, in one word, sadhana, this servant told me, Maharaj servant, yesterday I was telling our temple actually. Maharaj goes into his room. That room becomes a cave of Himalayas. Nobody knew when he would get up and when he would do his chanting. He said, before Mangalarti, his rounds would be over. But to set an example, he would come, sit with devotees, and he would chant. But then Maharaj went to Hawaii, to attend Ambrish Prabhu's daughter's marriage. So one day, what he told me, Maharaj got about 2 o'clock. He went into the woods to chant his rounds. So impeccable sadhana. Sadhana is great actually. So the seva, seva means how can I please the devotees? How can I please my God brothers, no matter what my state is actually? So this came again and again in my mind actually. Nitai definitely was my good friend from New Vrindavan. 1 year Maharaj became very sick. And he said, no. I was not eating the regular, the foods that he liked. So one time, So that time he went for one program, and there they were feeding everything, which which is like they, they started serving. So I thought, no, why are we, no, he's not good. Yeah. Then that day what happened? And we came back. He ate everything, and it's 9 o'clock. He started walking on the island with Nitai actually. Nitai passed away in 2012, at a very young age of 32 years. 32, 33, not 32 actually, yeah. So, what is that? He was walking on the island, Nurundan Island, in the parking lot. It was taking long, So, he's already talking to, he was talking to him. So I could not go close to him. So I stood there for a very long time. I stood there for more than an hour. And finally it's 10 o'clock, 10 plus. He saw me. He came to me finally and said, don't wait for me. I cannot digest this. Whole night I have to walk. I cannot eat. Maharaj, what can I do for you? He said one line. I mean, whatever he asked me, till this day I could not do it actually. But that's what he wanted. He wanted everyone to, purify himself or herself in the path of bhakti. So he knew this would give him trouble, but to please the hosts, he went to that much extent actually. I have seen this again and again and again and again actually. No. And neglecting, sleep, neglecting food for decades. So Krishna's, one devotee told me this, 98 was very difficult. For ISKCON, Ritik, challenge came, threatened ISKCON movement. So the meetings were in Juhu, all the GBCs came, so they had to address it. So Maharaj, as soon as, the class was over, he didn't take breakfast. This devotee said, Maharaj, breakfast. So I said, Maharaj, I don't need. And Maharaj drove. What did he carry breakfast? Actually, Maharaj, was leaving. So Maharaj breakfast, Maharaj said, this life is for Prabhupada. I don't need breakfast. It's late. He left. Jew is not so close to Chowpatty. But this devotee took the breakfast. So it's these meetings are happening upstairs. So this devotee did not have guts to take the breakfast upstairs. Brajahari Prabhu saw him. What are you doing here? No, I brought breakfast for Maharaj. Maharaj didn't take breakfast. You come with me. I said, So he took him upstairs. Maharaj, you didn't even take breakfast since morning. It's 12 o'clock almost. Maharaj looked at him, So the point is, we always say this, to make a schedule is mode of passion, but follow the schedule is mode of goodness. So we all have ideals, but to what extent we follow needs courage, determination. Utsaha nischaya dharyat, enthusiasm, confidence, and patience. Then only our bhakti is nourished. Tests will come. Tests will definitely come to everyone. But when we pass, then we make progress. Bhakti is simple, not easy. You know. Correct. So, as a guru, he has to cut the ignorance of the disciples. It's very difficult service. You know. Actually, if you're a Siksha Guru, you know, you will try to correct people and people take it up because you know you're correcting them. But if you're not careful, then what happens? You will develop a what is it? The judgmental attitude. You will develop a fault-finding mentality. That problem is there for seniors. In fact, one time I faced this problem actually. Then, as a Krishna said, I was listening to his tape. He said, if you have to correct somebody, first of all, you should feel bad for it. I know I myself have so many faults. How can I correct somebody with so many faults? But this is my service, you know. So you think you like you utterly feel disqualified to correct anybody because you yourself have so many faults. But this is your service, you know. Without having humility, if you try to rectify somebody's fault, you will become the victim of judgmental mentality. You will become the victim of that judgmentalism, that judging mentality. But if you see it, if you do it as a service, even though you don't want to do it, then you'll get protection. Hare Krishna. You know, because it is a service to correct us. Guru has to cut through our egos. Hare Krishna. You know. So one devotee he was giving class in Chapati temple. Not many people were there, but he was giving class. But little did he know, Maharaj was listening from his room. The class was over, hardly 3, 4, 5 people were there. It's afternoon, something like that. So he finished his class and he came out of the temple hall to go down. But on the steps, he saw Maharaj coming from the other side. So he was going, so he let Maharaj go down the steps first. As Maharaj came down the steps, Maharaj told him, nice lecture. You give a nice lecture. So this devotee was so pleased. He heard the lecture. So Maharaj said, nice lecture he became. And Maharaj said, then Maharaj left. So he felt, he felt very happy. He became proud. I gave a nice lecture. He became proud. By this time, Maharaj already went, maybe 10, 15 feet forward. Maharaj came back. And he said, everyone gives good lectures. Not just you alone. Means Maharaj sensed it. And he said that. Everyone gives nice lecture. But we need to cultivate behavior. I like everyone's lecture. Hare Krishna. And Maharaj left. Myself, it happened many times. Wow. I'm happy, definitely happy to share. One time it was a very demanding service. I got wonderful service. I was doing it year after year after year. One time in Gitanagari, the retreat was over. So I went to him. I was talking to him. Then I said, in my conversation, maybe my war enthusiasm, Maharaj, in that case, Guru Maharaj, probably I have to compete with him. I said this one line. Oh, wow. He started giving left and right continuously. So I was sitting and maybe only he was there, I was there, nobody else. It was heavy, you think you can compete? So that's suddenly one God brother came to the room. He came to the room, but he didn't stop. He didn't stop. My problem is, there is a saying in my language actually, when somebody is chastising alone, that's fine. But your God brother is there, it's in more painful. After he came, he continued for another 20 minutes. Means basically Maharaj wanted me to get rid of, on that competing mentality, whatever, if you want, I can tell the name of the devotee who came and said also, this did not happen one time, actually, many times. Wow. I think, still I'm so fallen. I've not learned my lessons, actually. It happened many times, not just one time. With me, what is that? But all, there was a strict discipline, strict father with me, actually. One time I was in New York. To Guru Maharaj, I come every Thursday night. Thursday I come and I go Sunday back to Farmington School. You come every Thursday, yes, Guru Maharaj. Then I do the service. Thursday night I dress, go in and the Friday, Saturday I do the services and better preaching. And Sunday morning I go. I said, okay. 3 weeks recently, actually, in a couple, only 2-3 years before. Just before COVID, actually, 19. Nursing Chaturdasi came. Nursing Chaturdasi came. It came on Thursday. So I know Maharaj, that day he was there. Vyasa Prabhu, he was coming. He was in New York City. So Maharaj would give class naturally. There will be 700, 800 people. Will Maharaj look for me? So I thought I booked my ticket instead of Thursday night, Friday morning. So because I wanted to, we had celebrations in Farmington Hills, Nursing Chaturdasi Parents Day. So I gave class and prasad, everyone broke fast, prasad. And 10 o'clock, I got a phone call. And phone call from New York. Hare Krishna, it's 10:10. Why this call now? And so I got a call from Sundarnath. Sundarnath Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Maharaj is asking, Maharaj in Brooklyn right now. He's asking where you are. He's telling he has not seen you. That's what he's asking. I said, tell him, because festival I came here and I booked my ticket tomorrow. And and I'm reaching tomorrow morning. That Sunday, and next day morning I went to New York. That Sunday, it's all distribution by Shashi Prabhu, and all many people came to do book distribution. So Maharaj also came, and I went to Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, you called me, Guru Maharaj. Thursday night, Guru Maharaj, you said you come every Thursday, right? So that's why I'm just checking with you. So yes, Guru Maharaj, I know. This time, Guru Maharaj, because of the festival, I stayed back. Okay, that's it. I'm just checking. Yeah. So when God brother, he says, no names. When you're with Maharaj, something will go wrong and he'll give you, he'll correct you. Only for your betterment. This God brother is big now. One day I was driving him. He is big now, not he was, sorry. He was driving Maharaj to Gitanagar. Instead of taking east, he took west. So Maharaj was talking and he was talking. Suddenly Maharaj said, how far? Another half an hour. After half an hour, how far? Another half an hour. So the thing is, Guru has this thankless task of correcting, only to cut our impurities, cut through our ignorance. So anything he does, is for our betterment. This, if you want, I'll tell them this past time. This, with Maharaj, I'll tell the devotee name later. Some of you know it. Chaupati people would sleep like this. When I was there, I would also sleep like this. All the 200 brahmacharis like a 6x3. If you go there, you'll sleep under the fan. That is what is that? Like in bus, we choose the window seat, right? So likewise in the summers, anytime if you sleep, if you go early, you can sleep under fan. If not, you will sleep wherever you want to sleep, as simple as that. One devotee has a place reserved for him. And nobody should sleep there because that was his place. Something like that. So nobody would that place is reserved. Nobody would go there. So one day, this devotee came very late. And he went there and he was shocked. Somebody was sleeping. Hey, this is my place, reserved place. How can you do this? And he said, hey, Prabhu, why are you sleeping in my place? So that person opened his like this. This guy is sleeping with a blanket. Who are you? Why are you sleeping here? Is this my place? He opened and said, this is a Radhanath Swami. Maharaj said, Sridhar Maharaj came and I gave him in my room. I'm sleeping here. Is it okay? I'm sorry. I don't know that this is your place. And no, Maharaj, I'm sorry. So, purport, you have to give the purport to yourself actually. I'm inspired to tell one more how he cut my ignorance. One time I was very sick. We went to New York. I cannot forget this actually. That time Niranjan Swami was there too. He came. We were all staying in one home. Yashodhadalal Prabhu's home actually. So Maharaj would, after treatment, will directly go to Newrandan or will come to Jersey City. Actually, Jersey City means you have to drive probably 1.5 to 2 hours north. From where we are, that hospital, Newrandan is on the way. So actually, this hospital was in between Jersey City and Newrandan. I told Niranjan Swami, Maharaj, after the procedure, we would directly go to Newrandan. He asked me 3 times. And I calculated, anyway, from hospital, why should we come back to Jersey City? We can directly go to Newrandan. So he asked me 2nd time, Yugal Kishore, do you know this? I said, yes, Maharaj. I think we'll go to Newrandan directly, but we'll not come to Jersey City, Maharaj. 3rd time he asked. Yes, Maharaj, tomorrow after procedure, I'll pack everything. We'll directly go like this. So that day, Maharaj, Niranjan Swami asked Guru Maharaj, Maharaj, after the procedure, are we coming back? Are we directly going to Vrindavan? Maharaj said, no, we're coming back here. And Niranjan Swami laughed and said, I asked Yugal Kishore 3 times, and 3 times he said, he's coming, we are going straight away to Vrindavan. And Maharaj looked at me. Maharaj looked at me and I don't know what to say actually. Then Maharaj said, when Yugal Kishore says he knows, he thinks he knows. And Maharaj, he just, then he laughs, the shoulders raise. And I was upset. And Maharaj saw that, So to cut through that ego, he said, he repeated again actually. When Yugal Kishore says he knows, he thinks he knows. So, today after this many years, I think my ego is so high. Even the Guru Maharaj acted so much like that, still I have not learned my lessons actually. How that I'm feeling regret actually. Anyway, so in one lecture he said, we should not see whether it is difficult or easy. We should see whether it is right or wrong. We should see whether it is right or wrong and pursue it. Only one question we have to ask ourselves. Is it right or wrong? If it is right, and this will have Sarv Srila Prabhupada movement, we should do it. There is no question of taking a back step. One thing I have seen, he's one of the he's one of the humblest persons I have ever seen. What his determination is, it was and is immense. Bah, there is no question of taking a U-turn. Never. So problems come. He thinks, I think this is, material world. So natural. He's ready for it. When things go very well, he thinks this is Krishna's grace and we'll continue. He will continue irrespective of whether it is, whether it is problematic or whether results are coming. For him, service is important. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Because of that, Krishna gave him wonderful results. Krishna gave him wonderful results. It is written, Vaidhi Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti means it's executive. But when it is in Bhava and Prema Bhakti, it is affective. Means that's where you start getting results. So when Maharaj prays for somebody, Maharaj prays for some project, it's all because of his immense purity, because that power is there in his prayer. Results manifest. One time, I was called to come to New York. 2 more devotees were there. 3 people. He spoke from 2:45 to 2:45 to 8:15. Wow, I would never, until that day, I never knew what he would do after leaving Vrindavan. Then I realized, amazing. So recently somebody posted, I correlated actually. I just correlated with certain things. Some things I cannot tell. But he posted, some of you might not have heard. Similar thing happened in New York Bhakti Center, of course. But same thing, Maharaj said, this HSBC. Then Maharaj said, they invite me. And this one lecture, all the bankers from all over the world, they're invited. The bank pays them the travel expenses, and then a GNDA, whatever, what is that? Bank takes care of their travel expenses, their accommodations, everything, only to attend his seminar, Hare Krishna. And he said that CEO name Zed Kama, he would personally, wherever, irrespective of wherever he would be, that time he would come only to introduce Maharaj to the audience, 900 bankers. Maharaj said, here I am, I don't even have a bank account for this many decades. It's very interesting. They would all come to listen from me. So he said one time, he said, I was speaking, but one of the board of directors of HSBC, he was actually, what is that, Queen's secretary. Queen's secretary, and he was impressed. And he asked me, do you want to come and I take lunch with Queen every Wednesday? I'm impressed, by your lecture. And do you want to meet with the Queen? Maharaj said, yeah, no problem. So the point is, Maharaj said, I wish London is in the outskirts of New York. Maharaj said that. So, and that video that is out, what is that somebody sent? The Leicester, they want to, this bank. So that bank, that CEO was attending Maharaj lecture, and he was going, Maharaj was speaking. 15 minutes later, that CEO turned back and asked, that organization, they approached us for the building. Is he from that same organization? And that person said, yes. Really? Then we want to give the $10 million building to them as a gift. Wow. And that person, he was Indian, was very intelligent. He said, instead of writing a gift deed, let us ask them to pay and let us sell them for whatever money they can give to us. It's all right. Next Thursday, we'll sell them. Tell them whatever money they can raise, we'll give it. Because I don't want people to come to know we are selling this building, and the prices will rise. And this devotee called this temple president, said, something amazing is going to happen, Prabhu. How much money can you raise by next Thursday, which is hardly 5-6 days? You try your best and come. You can sell, you can buy this building. They raised $350,000, another $150,000. Sir, we have only $500,000, £500,000, $500,000. So no problem. So just by listening to Maharaj lecture, that CEO sold $10 million building to ISKCON for $500,000. All right. Amazing, right? So Maharaj said, I don't know whether I should tell this or not, but so what is that? The bankers, they come. I think I will not go further on this. But anyway, the point is, Mahabhagavad devotee. And Maharaj said, what is that? I just give simple class, a simple one class, and Krishna, other things devotee take care of it. They just take, they take me around, I just give class. Anyway, the point I'm making is, what is impossible for somebody who has pleased Radharani, has pleased Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. So in the last part, I always said this, when Mataji asked this question to Maharaj in New Vrindavan 2005. What do you expect from your disciples, Maharaj? Maharaj said, thank you very much for asking this question. Good sadhana, good service attitude, take responsibility. Good sadhana, service attitude. That time he said, surrender to authority, and take responsibility. He paused and said, good relationships with devotees. So every time, of course, situation changes, but I'm sure the essence is this, take the responsibility and sadhana and good relationships. Even if you don't do great things, sadhana and service attitude and responsibility and relationships, if you do, is very happy. What he doesn't like is quarrels. One time Gauram Prabhu said this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur hated the presence of Mayavadis, and Guru Maharaj hates the presence of quarrel. Adoshadarsi never quarrel. He never finds fault with anyone. Adoshadarsi, he doesn't find fault. Amazing, amazing quality. So what is that? That's why it's very important. I have written so many, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I wrote. It's only 10 o'clock for us. And I'm very grateful to Prabhuji, Radhanath Prabhu, for having given having given me this opportunity to speak. Maharaj, I'm a fallen conditioned soul, but still Radhanath Prabhu gave me this opportunity. Prabhuji, very grateful, Prabhuji. I'm blessed obeisance to you and all the devotees, listening. I'm blessed obeisance to all of you and your Lord Sweet. Please forgive me if I have spoken anything wrong, but very grateful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. The only last point is, Maharaj is a Mahabhagavad devotee, and you all must have seen, how, he was there 2.5 hours during this Nayan Sundari Mataji passing away episode. He was there, he waited, he prayed for her. Everything on one side, Maharaj presence on another side. Because the Mahabhagavad devotee, he was praying, he was doing this for her. He wanted every one of us to try sincerely and come back to God. And actually, that's what I can tell. Ignore my shortcomings, forgive me for my shortcomings, but very grateful to Dandot direction. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Yugal Kishore Prabhu. I thought the nectar will still flow for some more time because I said there is no time limit for you. But I know it is very late for you. Prabhuji, thank you for accepting the invitation to glorify Maharaj on the occasion of his Vyasa Puja on a very short notice. And while you were narrating all the pastimes and qualities of Maharaj, Prabhuji, and especially I can tell you, you have shared so much about Maharaj. I don't have much personal association, but through you only I have known Maharaj. I'm sure many of us who has joined us today have heard a lot about Maharaj from you, Prabhu. So thank you for doing it. Maybe I'll unmute for everyone. So if someone wants to share any reflections or comments, so please raise your hands. Now you have the option to unmute and express gratitude to His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu. He does this every year for us. Prabhu, you bring us, set the mood for Vyasa Puja, enlighten us on Maharaj. Thank you for doing it. So anyone, please raise your hand and express your gratitude to Yugal Kishore Prabhu. I see Krishna Murli Prabhu and Balram Lila Prabhu has unmuted, even Brajika Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Yugal Kishore Prabhu ji, Dandat Pranam, Balram Lila Das. Remember, I'm in Mumbai now. I'm in India. Are you coming to India sometime?
Planning, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Planning.
Okay. Thank you very much for your wonderful class. I actually missed the timings. I missed the initial part of the class. I realized it was earlier today. But thank you very much for very informally and sharing such intimate pastimes of Maharaj, which we rarely get to hear very well. I'll share one. So many things were actually very effective, but I had one question also, which would be personally important for me. But what do you expect from your disciples, Maharaj? These 5 points were excellent. I'm just repeating for my own good sadhana, service attitude, and you said surrender to authority was also included in that.
Maharaj said that time, like 2005, So sadhana, service attitude, surrender to authority, responsibility, and good relationships.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's something to very deeply meditate upon in our practical seva. Uh, I wanted to ask also this question, which you mentioned that to make a schedule is mode of passion, to follow a schedule is mode of goodness. Is that something? Can you elaborate on that point? Is that something that you were saying in the context of something Maharaj said, or you can mention that?
No, actually, what is that? Um, creation is in the mode of passion, but maintenance is in the mode of goodness. So
Okay.
for that, so we sometimes we are inspired to do it, but sometimes we don't do it. There's a thing, but consistently doing the same thing again and again for the pleasure of Guru, day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade is truly bhakti. Not like when you're getting results, you'll stick to it. When you're not getting results, you don't stick to it. Not like that. That's what I'm trying to tell. He has this failure or success. He doesn't care, but he cares only one thing. Am I doing it for the pleasure of? I mean, he does it no matter what, whether it's failure or success, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. That's it. That's what he says. That's why even if you're a big achiever and winner, he says, okay, you have a desire, and Krishna sanctioned it. So that's what he says. But usually what happens, we take it, I have done it myself. Then, we unbutton our, what's that? We remove the two, basically we become a little proud, So, but in his case, okay, you have desire, Krishna sanctioned it. So where's the room for becoming proud? So, but just continue doing what needs to be done, give the results to Krishna. That is pure bhakti actually. That I have been saying, I've been as much as possible, I've been watching him do that. Some projects results, they don't come and as we expect or as he expected, but he would pursue very sincerely. One time he said, one time he told one day what I was sitting there. Don't worry. Even if everyone is doing wrong, you do the right thing. Then you continue doing the right thing. Few years later, when Krishna watches you do the right thing, Krishna will empower you. Then he raised his hand and said, you will develop, you will develop, Krishna will empower you. And you will develop influence around yourself. And with that influence, you'll be able to do things for Krishna. Maharaj said, it may take one lifetime. But that is what you have to do. Don't worry. What is important is doing right things. It may take some time. That's okay. He said this. Doing the right thing is important. Whether success or failure.
Thank you. Oh, can you share maybe a minute or two also just about this point about surrender to authority? Anything more you can just share about that? That's such a critical point. If Maharaj said like that, anything more?
If you really ask me, that like many times he also told, you do this right now. Few years later, it will change. This 2005 and this 2022, So especially, I don't want to, the 5 points he did say that, surrender to authority, good. If you ask me, that day he did say that, no doubt he said that. I know as much as possible, yeah, we should surrender to authority. Why not? if authority is inspiring you to work for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and spiritual master, why can't we surrender to authority? He said that day, no doubt. He said that. Simple thing is that do whatever you're asked to do. Now I'm not quoting Bhaktivinoda Thakur's six items of surrender, Anukulesya, Sankalpa, Pratikulesya, Varjanam. I'm not telling that, do as much as you can.
Yeah.
Whatever you can service you can do to please authority. Many of us are not directly working for Guru Maharaj, yes. So, but we are all involved in our projects, serving some authority. So, if we please that authority, definitely Guru Maharaj is pleased. Like temple president, somebody may be working under some temple president. So when we serve the temple president, Guru Maharaj is happy actually, But do as much as you can, as much as we can, to please the temple president, That's what I can tell today actually.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yugal Kishore Prabhu, for enlightening us with such sweet pastimes as a lot of lessons for us. Thank you so much. Especially how Maharaj is Adoshadarshi, as well as how he surrendered to Srila Prabhupada's instructions, and how he is always conscious of pleasing Prabhupada. Thank you, and very grateful for the opportunity to hear from you. Thank you.
Krishna. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving this heartfelt offering to Maharaj. I think this is a nectar we can relish for a very long time. It's always great hearing from you because you speak from your heart and you're sharing such a realization from your interactions with Maharaj. This is very, very powerful and very, very helpful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for wonderful memories. It's not very easy to be near pure devotees because they're like fire, and if we have some impurities, we get burnt, right? So you have been close enough and you have served so nicely and you are sharing it with us. It's a nice way to relish. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So dear devotees, I know it is getting late for His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu. Let's express our gratitude and thank Yugal Kishore Prabhu by maybe chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Humblest obeisance to everyone. Please forgive me for my shortcomings. Very grateful for your patient audience. Do excuse me as your humble servant if I spoke anything wrong, but very grateful for your patient audience. Hare Krishna. I'm ending now. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavats. So we'll end the session here, Prabhujis and Matajis. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna.